Hello, and welcome back to Oolykee Gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic, and today I'm gonna present to you hospitals, zeppelins, and steel mills. Right, again, disclaimer, this is not paid, this is not anything, this is just me spotting some mods, and if you want to enjoy this game, go and check out the mod section, workshop section on the Steam. There's a lot of wonderful mods. There are actually two maps that I was considering presenting, but one of them is extremely complicated. The other one, it looks like it's not finished yet, so I won't be touching those subjects at the moment, but we have another wonderful map here to present today. Check out the workshop, please. We're gonna start with Mr. Novo and Zeppelin. This is gonna be two mods. You have both links in the description, Zeppelin Stations and Zeppelin. Zeppelin is made from a captured German plans during World War I, original thought of as a weapon of war. It has been repurposed for passenger travel, maximum load 20 passengers, speed 85 kilometers per hour, yada yada yada. You can check it where it is in the description of the video. You can see more details. It's located under helicopters. Now, that's something different. First of all, you have three buildings. One of them is just a Zeppelin parking or Zeppelin depot. You have normal Zeppelin stations. It has slots for two Zeppelins to dock at the same time. Plus, you have a modular one or modular Zeppelin station that can have helicopter landing pad attached to it, so you can place whatever you want wherever you want it. But this is by Mr. Novo. Check out the links in the description of the video. By the way, just to compare, it does cost more than some of the helicopters, as you can see here. These are modded ones, but Mi-8 is actually cheaper than this one, can carry more people, so this is definitely not a cheat mode. So it's slower, it carries less people, and it's definitely something I'll be using in my Let's Plays. Mr. Legend Gamer and Steel Workshop. I will not try my Russian in this case, I'm just gonna leave it alone. You have even in the link in the description you have coordinates to the real thing. This is only a section of a factory of the real thing, and Steel Workshop of a heavy machine building plant, a high performance blast furnace that runs continuously, provide increased steel yields, which you can either unload into the warehouse or haul off by trucks. Requires 130 workers, 43 engineers, blast furnace. Number 5, and you have more description in the link in the video. I won't bother you by that. It's smaller in size than the vanilla one, but it does have even smaller production. I checked it out. It doesn't require any electricity connection, but I mean, of course it does require electricity, but not for making this steel. It does require a lot of coal. So if you see here, I'm gonna compare it to vanilla steel mill. As you can see it here, we're gonna hover over it. The vanilla one produces 43 tons of steel using 375 tons of coal and 200 tons of iron. In this case, this one consumes more or less, I would say, it's less than double the coal, less than half of the coal, and it less than half of the iron, but produces 32 tons of steel. So it makes it quite productive. Now, how does it scale in price-wise when we want to build it? So we're gonna go. We have a steel mill on the right-hand side over here, and I'm gonna go to our mod section, and I will go all the way to the end and find the steel mill because it's the newest mod I installed. Sorry. And we can see it here. So how does it compare construction-wise? We need just under 10,000 work days for vanilla one. This one requires over 10,000 work days. Concrete-wise, it does require less concrete. It does require less gravel. It does require more or less the same amount of boards, a little bit less bricks, and does require 524 tons of steel, while vanilla one requires less than half of that. So this is quite a pricey building. It does have a decent productivity, but it's quite pricey, so it's gonna be, it has payoffs, but I'm gonna leave it to you to decide, is this something that is overproductive and not. But in real life also, this building looks quite impressive. It's a part of big conglomerate, big steel mill. This is only a little part of it. But anyway, check a link in the description of the video. Mr. Raytheon, and this is distribution offices and technical services. Greetings, this mod contains 6 buildings. of a car depots, or in this case that would be distribution offices for 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 and 32 parking spaces, and 3 buildings of technical services, 4, 8 and 12 parking spaces. Such a buildings have no analogs. I came up with it myself. So there's no building like this in real life. Mr. Raytheon, classic design, how he does it. Buildings look really nice. So if you subscribe to other his mods, your town is gonna look absolutely beautiful, because most of his buildings have similar style of design, and I think this is one of the really beautiful parts of the whole thing. I love packs. I like similar buildings. Mr. Rob's, Mr. Novo, in this case Mr. Raytheon, they have amazing style, so which I really prefer. Now, how does this compare to vanilla buildings? Let's check it out. So let's start with technical services. On the right hand side we have technical services over here. It does have slots for a different amount of vehicles. From the mods we have only 5, I believe, in the vanilla technical services. We're gonna go and check out what do we have in the mod section over here. Now we have these are the garages. These are the 3 ones that we are looking for: 4, 8 and 12 vehicle technical services. So let's compare it 4 and 8 price wise. 56 workdays to finish 1.6 tons of concrete, which is way less than vanilla one. This building is gonna cost you only a fraction of a vanilla building is gonna cost you, because the structure that is constructed, it only, as far as I can see, uses air bricks and basic materials, so it's much cheaper than the vanilla one. In this case we have distribution office up to 12. We're gonna go and compare the largest one. If we go to mod section, and we have the largest technical service distribution office with 32 vehicles. We're gonna compare it to, let's go even smaller, because I have a feeling that this is gonna be much cheaper than the vanilla one. So we have here 665 work days, 20 tons of concrete, 15 tons of gravel, and altogether 2.6 tons of steel. Definitely it's a little bit more equal in pricing, a little bit more boards, a much bit less steel, but a little bit comparable in price. Now this building is gonna be much cheaper for you to implement, but oh boy, let's say in real life they would be cheaper because they're made out of cheaper materials. So, but I'm gonna leave you to decide, will you use this or not? I definitely will. Can we have a week without Mr. Rob's? Unfortunately not. Rob's 074 hospital, based on a real building in Lublin, Poland, employs 30 workers with basic education, 30 doctors, and serves about 90 patients, can be equipped with 8 ambulances. This is my favorite mod of this week, definitely. This is something I was looking for. This is amazing. It looks really beautiful. Classic Mr. Rob's, but this building, just because first of all it's real life, second of all it's a little bit unusual. It's not classic or square building. It looks really nice. This is my favorite mod for this week. Now, how does it compare to the vanilla building and cost wise? So if we go to the mods, we have it here on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we're gonna have the hospital. Mr. Rob's is known to make his buildings a little bit more expensive in average. Let's see it here. 1000 work days for vanilla one, 1852 work days for Mr. Rob's one. It does require a little bit less concrete, more gravel, more asphalt, way more bricks, 5 times more bricks, and does require half the steel required. I believe in a price range it would be similar to vanilla hospital, 38,000, while vanilla one would set you back 34,000, so it's more or less the same. It does have a little bit more parking capacity. This one has 7, I believe. This one has 8, but I think it's more or less comparable. This is definitely my favorite mod of this Mod Monday. Mr. Novo, Mr. Wizard again, medical tourism. Tired of high cost of capitalist healthcare, then visit the Workers' Republic to experience the best socialized medicine. Our hospitals is so advanced. Yeah, I'm gonna leave something for you to read, but this is something different. This is classic Mr. Novo. So he reused the hospital that has already heliport on top, I believe. And it does have attachment to it. If you go to the mod section and you go to your hospitals, in this case these are the ones, you have the normal medical tourist hospital, and then you have patient's entrance. Now you can see here that you have a patient entrance here on the side. This is where your patients are gonna go and, well, leave their hard-earned money here on the best healthcare in the world in your republic. Now this building can be, I'm gonna demolish it here. I'm gonna show you how it looks when we rebuild it. So this is the tourist part of the building. Now you can place it wherever you want, on which side of the building you want. The best thing to do is just have it attached to the building so it looks like it's a part of the building. I put it on this side, and Mr. Novo put it on this side as well, in all of his screenshots. So if you just put it adjacent to this building and just construct it, it's gonna look perfectly fine here. It's gonna look like it's part of this building, and well, I'll leave it to you to decide what looks best. Anyway, check it out in the link in the description, but comparing the hospital to hospital, because this one doesn't have, I'm gonna go for vanilla one here on the right hand side, and the price wise, if we go to mods and the hospital here on the left hand side, we're just gonna have to turn off the pricing. 1,000. It's definitely more expensive. Mr. Novo's one, it does have electrical components. It does require 70 tons of steel, which is almost double the price of vanilla one. So definitely more expensive, but you get a bonus of medical tourism. Here we go, Mr. Dirty Dirk, Signaling Control Building Hamm. Signaling Control Building Hamm, you can find it under the mod section as a monument converted model with permission by Steam user, yada yada yada, from Transport Fever 2. Now, there's a disclaimer, you can read all about it there, it's way over my head, but I'm gonna leave it to you to decide. Now, this is a signaling station, this is classic for railroads. This looks like a German style. Hamm would be probably a city or where this station is located, but this is something I'm gonna try implementing in my. This is just beautifying your railroads, so you have a signaling station where all the signals are controlled from. Now, in order to, there's no comparison with a real life with a vanilla building of this kind, so I'm not gonna compare it by any means necessary, but this is something really interesting if you want to make it more realistic. It does have two pedestrian connections, I believe. You can see here entrances on the right hand side. And yeah, for more details, check the link in the description. Mr. Davidenkov _I, biofuel plant. There's a description in Russian, I believe, and then you have building of a biofuel factory, because there is practically no choice of a workshop for biofuel factories. I made this building for me. It's based on a vanilla chemical plant with modified texture, 60 workers, storage 400 tons of fuel, 60 tons of crops. It produces 6 tons of fuel from 12 tons of crops. I did a research. Okay, so first of all, let's face it that this is probably ethanol or biodiesel or anything in that ballpark. Ethanol would be done by fermentation. Biodiesel, I'm not really sure, but ethanol can be done from several different sources. The most efficient, I just watched a documentary recently, the most efficient is that we know about would be sugarcane. So if you want to simulate that this is a sugarcane, and what's the percentage that you can get, what's the amount of fuel you can get, I'm not sure. I saw some studies that you can get 6 tons of fuel from 12 tons of crops, up to 50%, depending on the, of course, sugar content, and of course, yeast can convert only like up to 17%, I believe, of sugars into alcohol. After that, they start dying. I used to make my own beer, so I know something about yeast and what happens to them if they go over a certain amount of alcohol. So I would say that it could be in a range of realism, but I don't wanna bet on that. But this is something I will definitely consider using, because this is same as solar power plants, this is same as wind power plants. This is the energy source of the future, and definitely our republic deserves to have something like this. Anyway, I will leave this to you to decide. There's nothing comparable to this. There's refineries and stuff like that, so I won't compare it to anything. I can tell you how much it costs if you go to your mod section all the way in the end, and if you want to buy it straight away, this is your Biofuel Factory. It costs 55,000 rubles to build. I believe it could be in the same ballpark as the chemical production. I'll real quickly just check this. Unfortunately, I don't have this research, so I can't check the real price of the chemical factory, but I believe it would be in the same ballpark. Anyway, I'll leave you to decide on this mod, and definitely thumbs up from me. Stadion S11 by Mr. Vikom, nicknamed a goat's breath. Yeah, funny. So this is the first widely produced Czechoslovakian moped. Around 150,000 were produced between 57 and 1960. I think he extended this to 1963 so you have a little bit longer chance to buy them. Of course, after that you're gonna have to make it yourself. They're really inexpensive. They're cheap. They have a 3-liter fuel tank and they're quite efficient. Unfortunately, there's nothing to compare them with. You can find it under personal cars, of course, purchased with rubles. 149 rubles for one of these bad boys. They only go 40 kilometers per hour, but they're quite fuel efficient. Unfortunately, I think the gas tank is doubled in size, so this is not realistic. What Mr. Vikom said in the comments, in the description of the mod, which you can read if you read the description of the mod. Unfortunately, like I said, there's nothing we can compare it with. It's much cheaper than any other personal cars we can buy. Not that much cheaper, but it is definitely cheaper. And of course, there's an issue where you cannot get rid of the person from the motorcycle if it's not being used yet, but we'll see how that's gonna go in the future. So that's up to you to decide. Link in the description of the video. Okay, map. Mr. Andrzej, Republika Bukovina 1.1. Andrzej would be the name of the person who made this mod. Now, there are 3 maps I wanted to review here. Unfortunately, I went for this one. You should go and check all the mods there. Check it out for yourself. They're beautiful mods. You need to decide what you want to play. I decided for this to be map of the week. And this is really beautiful map. It has a lot of nice details. Archipelago over here. You have couple of cities, not too many. You have Torovduži, you have Portuv, and I think there's another city somewhere. Let me see. This is a border crossing, and here in the middle of the map we have one. Disregard this area, that's where our mods are. And this is the Chodnikov, I believe, which will be passageway or something. Oh, there's something over here. Maybe we have another city. No, just a bridge and some infrastructure over here, but the map is really beautiful. I love it. One of the candidates for our future Let's Plays, but let me show you the map. It's quite strange terrain. You're gonna have to do a lot of leveling. It's gonna be a little bit challenging to go through it. It has a lot of these canyons and canals everywhere. You do have infrastructure and population. You start with around 3,500 people around here. Now, towns are really beautiful. A lot of effort went into designing them, so I wouldn't touch them. You have stations, you have overpass bridges. By the way, if you start with these stations without it being serviced, your people will disappear. They're gonna die because they require some utilities. Right, you have railroad infrastructure also. It's wooden rails as far as I can see it. It's absolutely beautiful. This is a really nice map, and I suggest you go and check it out. Now, resource wise, let me see here. It says that it has rich resources. I wouldn't really say so. This is coal, and there's not a lot of it. Some of them is quite close to you, which you can start exploiting early. But for example, iron here, you're gonna have to drive a little bit further and deliver your iron to our steel factories. Oil, he said they decreased the amount of oil, even though oil could be on a decent size here, decent amount of oil. You have an oil field over here, and some of them over the sea as well on the islands. Uranium ore, this is rich. This is rich because usually there's not this much uranium ore around the map, and bauxite as well. So I have to say that these resources are a little bit more abundant, and while the rest of them, I would say they're average or below average in amount and quality. So this is definitely something that would be challenging to play, and I'm gonna consider that. Probably I'm gonna play it in my free time. I'm not sure about the Let's Plays, but this map is being fixed all the time, and the map author Andrzej is updating it, so check out the link in the description for more details. And that's it. I'm gonna say, guys, Hospital from Mr. Robs is definitely my favorite, and I really hope you enjoyed this mod Monday. If you did, press the like button. If you didn't, leave a nasty comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, notification bell, ring it, comment section, hit it. And if you want to support the channel, you can always buy me a coffee, guys. Have a nice day, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye.